You need to make sure that you have mentors. You need to make sure that you have friends that will hold you accountable. People who are going to say, look, this is wrong, this is right. The mentor is going to say, these are the things that you need to do. These are the steps that you need to take. What's going on, everybody? Kirby back again with another video. Today is Plant Life Lessons Volume 2, Episode 2. However you want to call that. All right, if you did not get a chance to watch the first video where I talked about changing your environment, you can go back and watch that right now. It is linked above. All right, but today I'm talking about balanced growth. This video on Plant Life Lessons today is about balanced growth. Now you probably say, well, Kirby, what exactly does this mean? What does this look like? Well, when we know, for me, I'm taking care of house plants. Okay, this is actually my second plant that I just bought yesterday. I'm excited to see the growth of this one, but let's just talk about the first one that I had, the things that I've learned. Within the first month or two, when that plant began to grow, it was growing one-sided. It was like it started to lean towards one direction, and it's still kind of doing that now because that's how it initially started. Now, I did some research and I was like, man, why is my plant growing one way? And I realized that because the plant was not being rotated. I kept it in the same place for the most part. Even if I moved it, I would put it back the way it was. I kept it in the same place every single time. Now, with me keeping it in the same place every single time, it grows towards the light. So because the light was coming in from a certain direction, and that's the place that I had it every time, then that's the only way or direction that it would grow. Now, what does this mean? Although, well, let me start here. As a believer, I'm going to tell you that your soil, your roots, all your foundation is going to be Christ. Okay, this is where your health begins. All right, so to start your growth process, that's where you need to be. Now, there are going to be other elements, just like for these plants. There's the sun, there's water, there's fertilizer, there are other things that goes on top of the soil, right, where it's grounded at. There are other things that are needed that's going to continue to help it grow. Okay, so likewise, God will send people to you that's to help you grow so that you can have balanced growth. Now, if you reject these people, then you may be stifling your growth. All right, a balanced growth. Now, will you still grow? Yeah, you may grow, but only according to your own understanding. Just like my plant was still growing, but it was growing one dimensional. Okay, all sides of the plant needs to have the light, needs to have exactly what it needs. Okay, so in your life, you need to make sure that you have mentors. You need to make sure that you have friends that will hold you accountable. You need to make sure that you're taking classes. You know, if there are some things that you may not have understanding of, take classes, learn more, continue to have a balance in your life where you'll continue to grow from all aspects. All right, if you're only relying on yourself, if you're only trying to do life alone, then you are going to grow one-sided. Okay, and too much of something can be bad for you. All right, too much of one thing can be bad for you. Now, what do I mean? Let me break this down real quick. All right, so if I give these plants all sun and no water, it's probably going to die. If I give it all water, no sun, it's going to drown. If I give it the soil and don't fertilize it, it's going to die. You see what I'm saying? All the components need to be there together, working together, so that these plants now can grow balanced. All right, so that they can grow upright, so that they can have the proper development and things that they need. So these are things that you need in your life. You need the people. You're not here to do life alone. You need people who are going to keep you, as we would say, on your toes. People who are going to keep you balanced. People who are going to say, look, this is wrong, this is right. The mentor is going to say, these are the things that you need to do. These are the steps that you need to take. And once you take those steps, then they also evaluate you. All right, I evaluate my plants. I'm looking at them, I'm watering them, I'm making sure I take them outside, I give them the light that they need, I rotate them, and I'm evaluating them. And if I'm seeing that they're growing the right way, then listen, I am doing something good. If I'm seeing like my first plant is growing one dimensional, then I'm evaluating this plant saying, you know what, it needs more light here, so let me start rotating here. It needs more light here, let me rotate here. Okay, it seems like it's not growing right now. Have I given it enough water? Have I given it enough fertilizer? Have I given it the right sunlight that it needs? So all of these things I have to evaluate. So likewise, you have to continue to evaluate your life and make sure that you have balance in it. If you do not, and you want to do everything by yourself, then you're stifling your growth. All right, you're minimizing the heights that you could actually reach. Okay, I could minimize the height. This plant right here is supposed to be taller than me. I'm only 5'10", 5'11" ish, but this plant is supposed to be at least about 7 feet, probably within the next couple of years or so. But I can stifle the growth and minimize the growth if I don't allow it to have balance in its life. All right, if I don't give it the sunlight, if I don't rotate it, if I don't give it the water that it needs and fertilizer, all these different things, then I can stifle the growth of that. Don't let that be your life. All right, get with the people that you need to, get you some mentors, get you some counseling, go through therapy. All of these things are necessary for you. Grace and peace and blessings. See you in the next one.